right, welcome everybody. We're excited to get into this today. We're going to be talking PLG and AI, the future of go-to-market strategy. And to do that, we brought on my friend, mentor, colleague, professor. I mean, this guy is a master of all things. Dave Boyce. Dave, thanks for joining. How are you?
Amazing. I'm glad we made this work, Gabe. I'm looking forward to this conversation.
Yeah, he says make it work because it was a little bit of a challenge. But you know what? We're not going to go into that. We made it. We're here, etc. Anyways, before we dive into the topic, and can you tell the audience just a little bit about yourself, maybe some of the cool things you've been up to lately?
Well, one we'll hit at the end. I really have been heads down writing a book on this topic, so I'm excited to talk about it. And I'm currently the EVP of product at a company called Winning by Design, and I'm the executive chairman. And we are actually heads down working on this exact same topic too. So other than, like family and, hobbies, this is my singular focus is automated GTM.
Yeah, I love it. I love it. Well, it's a hot topic. So I know you've got a lot to say. So let's maybe dive in. Let's start with some of the basics. How do you define this idea of product-led growth, and why do you feel like it's become such a dominant or important topic or model in SaaS in today's world?
I think we've seen nothing yet, Gabe. Like it has become dominant. Like you think about Slack, Atlassian, Zoom, Dropbox, DocuSign, Canva, all the, our next big IPO will probably be Canva. These are all built to using product-led growth. But we've seen nothing yet. Like the automated GTM using machines to kind of accelerate is definitely what it will drive the next wave of shareholder value. So the way that I define product-led growth, you could swap product out for AI, because I define it as the delaboring of go-to-market. So, in product-led growth, we employ the product to sell itself, install itself, onboard its own users, renew itself, et cetera. Like the product does all of that work.
Yeah.
And in AI, in AI-led growth, we will be able to ask a robot to do all that for us, or an agent, and but in neither case are we hiring expensive humans to do what a machine could otherwise do.
Yeah. I mean, it feels like that is kind of going to be the next big push. You talk a little bit about this efficiency idea. How does efficiency, does it play a huge role here, or how does this kind of emerge in with the product-led growth initiative?
I mean, we commercially minded people think about efficiency. Oh, wait, I could get a robot to do what I used to pay a human to do. That's I could get a steam shovel to do what I used to pay a human to do. Can it go faster? Can it be cheaper? Yeah, that's all true. That's all true. But it's more than just efficiency. I mean, we did things with product-led growth that no human-led growth company could ever do. Like if you have to hire someone to write your marketing copy, hire someone to go outbound prospect, or even inbound qualify demand, hire someone to close deals, hire someone to onboard and train, hire someone, you can only go so fast. You can only go as fast as you can kind of hire and teach people how to do those jobs and then manage them to do those jobs.
Yeah.
But then when we started asking the product to do it, then we got companies like Slack, 2.5 years, $100 million. Wait a second, $100 million in 2.5 years. Yeah. Because Slack could actually sell itself, onboard itself, train itself, monetize itself. And were there humans selling? Yeah, eventually there were humans selling, but all against the backdrop of a flywheel that could run itself. And so it could propagate itself. But Gabe, I said we see nothing yet. This is not saying anything to you, but you've been tracking the AI native companies that are hitting, Cursor hit $100 million, not in 2.5 years, in 1 year.
Yeah.
$100 million. So I don't think we know quite what's possible and what's sustainable, but what we do know is that if we can get a machine to do the work for us, this has worked in every prior industrial revolution or technology introduction. We can get a machine to do the work for us. We get leverage, we get speed. And I think, I think efficiency is in there.
Yeah.
But full stop. Efficiency is in there, and there's more. So we can talk about the more, but efficiency is in there for sure.
Yeah. What then double click on? I mean, so certainly, I mean, Cursor's a great example. I mean, companies who, are not limited, to massive implementations or hours and hours of people trying to, piece together technology, are proving that it can be. Wow, you're right. 100 million a year. That's crazy. So what is the more then? Do you think you can do it efficient and you can do it better?
I do. I mean, I was like in prepping for this, you and I exchanged notes in a PLG product. Like nobody sold you Google Docs. And yet we used it. And we're now recording on a platform that's PLG. I double checked that before we got in. Free to start. Nobody sold that to you. I mean, maybe they did, but if they did, they're probably wasting time because it's just like click, 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 and now I'm running. So like our entire world is run on, I mean, I probably used a dozen free to start product-led growth products this morning. You probably did too. And that makes my life better as the buyer. Like sometimes my life is not better when I have to get on a call with a salesperson. Shocker. Sometimes my life is not better when I have to schedule a call with someone to teach me how to use a product, or when I have to read through a manual to figure out like step 1, step 2, here's how you install. Most of the time we're used to just getting our hands on the product, having the product teach us how to use it, and just moving our way into our life without the friction of a human trying to kind of interject.
Yeah. I mean, man, as I hear you talk about that, I'm like, why does anybody go the direction of big implementations and costly, people and enterprise this, enterprise that? There's 1,000 more questions I want to ask, but can you apply this? I think that's where people would say, Dave, I love what you're saying, but that's Google Docs. I mean, of course, that's a consumer grade product.
Right.
What if you're selling enterprise?
Love it.
Put something in there, CRM or enterprise ready. Like you can't have PLG for enterprise. That's crazy talk. What how do you respond to that one?
Yeah, and you and I have talked a little bit about this. That's a bet. That's a bet you could make. Let's say I'm running an enterprise grade software company, and I want to make the statement you just made, like PLG is not going to work in my space. Okay, that's a bet. You can make that bet. But first of all, just check your market and see if anyone else in your market or adjacent is making it work on a self-service basis. Because I guarantee you, if you were GoToMeeting or WebEx and you owned 50%, like they basically split the market in video conferencing, right? Like half the world was on WebEx, half the world was on GoToMeeting. They said, oh, this is serious, telephony stuff. We got to plug into trunk lines, and we got to manage latency, and we got to manage security. I guarantee you they would like a do-over on that decision.
You don't get do-overs, unfortunately. I wish I could, but yeah, you don't get those.
So if you're like, well, I don't know, like, yeah, I do. Well, first of all, if you have a competitor making it work, you got to run, not walk, to get it to work for you, because you will get disrupted from the bottom. That not quite good enough, not quite enterprise solution is going to get better and better over time. And if it's easy to use, it's going to spread faster than you can spread with your humans, and it's going to eat your market. So that's number one. If no one in your market is making it work, then you got a choice to make. You can either try to figure out how to be the first, which is what HubSpot did in CRM. They tried to figure out how to get their CRM product to be PLG distributable. And now there are other companies, CRM companies, that are distributable via PLG, but HubSpot really tried. They looked outside of their market. No one was making it work in their market, and they were like, "Well, hang on, Shopify makes it work. Hang on, Dropbox makes it work. Shopify is actually not that simple. Couldn't we make it work?" And they just launched a team.
God, Shopify is such a great example. That would be one that if you'd asked me X years ago, I would have put that on. You could never do that.
Right.
That's way too complicated, but I guess that's what humans do. They take the unachievable and make it achievable, or what seems impossible possible. Want to bring this back to AI just a little bit. There's obviously a lot of hype going on. A lot of people wondering where to start, how to get into it. Did you feel like is AI actually delivering any real value in these types of PLG motions right now, or are we still in that talking the talk, not quite walking the walk?
So interesting that you say that. Like, I talk about the art of the possible, and we feel like we get bombarded by the art of the possible. Oh, you know what AI is going to be able to do in the future? Like, it's going to stitch your own outfit every morning, and put it on you as you walk out the door. Like,
Yes, I want
cool?
that. Put my shoes on. That I need that.
Yes, that's possible. I could imagine it,
Sure.
But the question is it really happening? Like, and the truth is, it is. It's not, So I talk about the art of the present, like what's happening today, not the art of the possible. I get it, like anything, but what's happening today. We Winning by Design, we actually went out and looked for actual on the ground examples, and we found 40 that we documented and are distributing right now as kind of proven case study stories of where AI is replacing or augmenting what humans are doing in GTM, like live examples with actual results. 40. I'm sure there are way more than 40, but it's not zero. It's not zero. And if you're interested, we can talk about a couple of those cool ones. I know obviously Signals is doing a bunch, and you're super familiar with that, but it is happening.
Yeah, I like that framing. Can maybe just throw out one, or let's start somewhere. Give me one that you feel like was kind of interesting, because I feel like that people are looking forward to that. Maybe if that report or document is out, maybe we can link that in this session, because I do think that's the art of the possible versus the art of the present is an interesting debate right now, and it's a fun dialogue. But people are looking for those baby steps, and they're struggling to find it. And I know I was on with the sales leader actually Friday, and my goodness, he's like, I've been trying this very specific use case, and he's like, it's just not working at all. What are you seeing, Gabe, that is working? So anyways, does one come to mind that's maybe kind of interesting for the audience to hear?
Yeah, and there are swings and misses out there too. Like, we did uncover those as well. In fact, just this morning from the airport, I'm talking to somebody about one of those 40 case studies, and she was like, turns out they unwound it. Like, should we pull it out of the book? Like, okay, like it's a public story, and then they unwound it. Like, we see some of that too. But so that, look, we're stepping into the unknown here. We're leading companies and leading GTM. We can decide what kind of stance we want to take. If we want to wait for it to be safer, then great. Some other people will be out ahead of us. But here's a couple examples. Like Mural has like millions of users, right? It's a freemium kind of PLG company that upgrades into enterprise licenses over time, teams, and then enterprise licenses. So they have both self-service and human-led.
Yeah.
But you can imagine if you're on that sales team, like, where do you start? Like, on the one hand, amazing, I got millions of customers. On the other hand, do I really want to like start calling through, like Will Rogers Elementary.edu, to see if they want to upgrade their account? Like, I don't know. So they're using AI to kind of surface, based on fit and readiness, to surface the ones that are most likely to benefit from human intervention. They've got the most potential, they've got the patterns of success. And so now when their sales team calls in, they're calling a prioritized list. That's something kind of you and I have worked on similar things in the past.
I like that.
It's like yeah, go ahead.
Yes, well, that's nice. That it brings it's a little more concrete, right? And truthfully, the thing I like about that as well is it doesn't feel like it's, again, I don't want to go into that art of possibility again, but you have this, what was it, Klarna? I replaced my whole support team, and no one's working anymore, and we're all just, sipping Mai Tais by the pool. It's small but very impactful. I like that. That's a great one. Is there a Mai Tais by the pool? I don't know where that one came from.
I don't even know what that means.
Is there another example? Give me one more if you don't mind. Maybe that stood out as kind of a interesting AI use case.
We talked about HubSpot going early into PLG. They were all sales led in the beginning, and then they kind of spooled up PLG so they could get a self-service motion going.
Yep.
And what's interesting is now on their PLG inbound small customers, basically the option is onboard yourself, install it yourself, swipe your credit card. They're now introducing an AI agent to help you with that process. Because and I know, as well as I do, like sometimes you get stuck, like I'm using Hostinger, or I'm using like GoDaddy, or I'm using like something that I should know how to do on my own, but I just get stuck. And I want to ask a question. I don't want to go type into the little help search bar and start reading like community articles. I can, it's going to take me a while, but could I just talk to like an agent and have her just help me figure out how to get unstuck, maybe help me figure out how to get over that hump to pull out my credit card. So that's what HubSpot's doing right now.
I like that. Yeah, great. That really takes it, that support use case. Maybe people haven't experienced this, but man, like a bot, a workflow bot, or an old school chat bot, that is kind of like if then this, or you kind of use the search bar, or you click on one thing and it then goes here and then goes there. Such a different experience than getting like this intelligent autonomous agent that you can kind of like have more real conversations with. And some people have been like, isn't this just a bot on steroids? And I'm like, you got to try that before you say that, because it really is a way different experience. That's a good one. I really like that. Couple more before I let you go, Dave. One of the things, you've done both, I think, in this world, right? You've scaled SaaS companies with traditional sales. You've obviously done PLG as well. As you think about both of those mixes, what's the biggest shift when you add AI into that mix? How do you see that playing out?
Yeah, the biggest shift. It shouldn't be a shift, Gabe, but it is. Like we should, what I'm about to say is something we should already be doing. But you actually can't employ AI if you haven't done it. And that is document your playbook. Can I tell you a story, just a short story?
Do it. Let's go.
So I'm sitting in San Francisco right now, and it actually wasn't too far away from here. You and I were both at InsideSales.com. I don't know if you remember a guy named Prashant Arshad. He worked at Salesforce, and we were sitting at a Starbucks, and I'm like, Prashant, if you could give instructions to your sales team the way you would give instructions to a computer, how would you write that down?
Yeah.
Like, how would you, like, let's say your sales team were completely programmable. Then you would say step 1, step 2, step 3, or you'd say if this, then that, or you'd say, qualify on this and then go down this branch. Like, how would you write that down? Well, we actually should be training and teaching our sales teams that. It should be written down. They should be learning those strategies. It should be documented enough to where when we bring a new human in, she can learn her job and she can check herself against a process. Often we're too lazy to do that. Often we just say, that's going to be, she's going to pick that up in the ether. It's going to be learn on the job. It's going to be more art than science, or it's going to be like, I'll watch how she works. I'll give her coaching in real time. But if you've got it written down, then you can actually upload it into an AI's brain. Now the AI can just go, right? And the AI can watch too, just like a human can watch what works and what doesn't. But honestly, if you're not codifying and kind of voting up and voting down certain strategies, it's very hard for the AI to pick that up. But if you're well architected and documented, then it doesn't matter whether you're employing humans or machines to do it. And in fact, the machines can run, they can do a lot more than humans can in some cases. And so you can just start handing off more and more if you've got it well architected. Yeah. Look at that.
That's a great example or use case of how that could potentially be played out. Maybe one more I want to throw out there. You've been quoted, or I think you've thrown out this idea, AI won't necessarily replace sellers, but sellers who use AI will replace those who don't. It's a great line. What are some examples of where you've actually seen this start to play out? Is there a couple ideas that you have in mind?
I think it will replace sellers.
I love it.
But not all sellers. Like, look, that's a decent way to make people feel good about kind of their position, but now I'll make you feel not good. Like we actually have to continuously learn. Like let's say that let's say I'm coaching a young sales professional just entering kind of the job market. Do you want that person to say, hey, AI is not coming for me, I'm better than everyone else? Or do you want that person to actually understand how to use AI to make her better? Like I in my book, I say that AI will replace or fundamentally change 90% of GTM roles as we see them today. Like 90%. Like there will not be a version of that sales role that doesn't include AI 5 years from now. There just won't. And for the people that are still trying to resist, they're going to end up, unfortunately, not employed. And the people, so you just have a choice. Like, do you want to learn how to play well in a human robot world, or do you want to be replaced? That's kind of your choice.
But at the moment, I mean, what advice would you give to sellers who are, or GTM role, people who are kind of feeling that pain right now and wondering what they should do to kind of either keep up with it, or are they just going to not have a job? Any quick advice for them?
Well, I just have to be not allergic. That's the number one thing. I have to be not allergic. Like you can imagine when automated telephone switching swept through, and all the switchboard operators were worried about losing their jobs. Yeah, the world's going to change. So let me not be allergic to it. I can't stop it. Let me learn it. Let me become the operator of the new equipment or the new technology. If all direct mail marketers said, oh, email's the worst, like it's never going to be able to replace my full, tangible, full color print, arrives in your mailbox, those people will be out of a job. But if they switch to, no, email's the best. Like I can actually get to more people. I can be more dynamic. I can still use it. And I can actually be, use my database marketing skills that used to deliver something to your mailbox, and now use my marketing skills to deliver something to your email inbox. We just got to switch. We just got to get our heads wrapped around it, and then figure out where you're going to play. And I believe smart, flexible, creative, curious people will be fully employed for as long as we can see into the future. It's just if you're allergic to it and you try to resist it, and you fall behind, then you put yourself at risk.
Yeah, I love it. The book, how do we get it? What's going on with it? Where do people find it? Let's leave with that.
Rock on. Thank you. Thank you. I know we'll put in the show notes, but productledgtm.com, productledgtm.com. I'm releasing the book for free, one chapter at a time, as you would expect for a book called Freemium. And also you'll see at the top pinned an option to pre-purchase the book. It comes out in August from Stanford Business Books. And you can buy it anywhere you buy books, Barnes & Noble, Amazon, Target, Waterstones if you're in the UK. So it's available for pre-order now, or you can read it right now online.
I love it. All righty. Well, Dave, it's so fun talking with you. It'd be fun to take maybe 2 more hours, but you have places to be. I'm sure I do as well. So we will stop with that. Again, thank you for your time. For the audience, have a fantastic rest of your day.
Thank you, brother.